Hello, I'm Michael Botticelli, Director of National Drug Control Policy. On behalf of the Obama administration, thank you for your commitment to helping transform our justice system and how we treat individuals with substance use disorders. We know so much more about addiction after years of scientific research. We understand that substance use disorders are diseases of the brain, that they can be chronic and relapsing, but we also know that, like other diseases, they can be prevented, treated, and people can recover. Jails and prisons have the opportunity and responsibility to use every tool to address this disease. Medication-assisted treatment can help stabilize people, keep them in treatment, and ease their transition back to their communities. We all have a role to play in improving the health and safety of our communities and reducing recidivism and rearrest.
I got a lot of friends that have passed away to this disease, and that's what everyone always says. Oh yeah, he was a great kid. Too bad he shot heroin and died. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I want people to be like, oh man, he shot heroin until he was 32, but he did something with it. At least he made it. Took a long time. I just know the life of crime don't have a pension. There's no retirement there. That's a lifelong thing. So what am I gonna keep going to jail for the rest of my life? Nah, I'm trying to change that. I don't want to keep doing that. I've done that. Been there, done that. I'm good.
When I'm in my addiction, I know that I don't think about all that other stuff. And when I got clean the first time, I didn't have any kids. So I relapsed about 16 months ago. I was clean for almost 4 years. And I relapsed about 16 months ago. So now that I have her, she was a year old when I relapsed, and she's getting ready to be 3. So it's just, I don't know, like I know that I have her as my security this time, but I also know that that's not, sorry. It's hard to talk about her. I also know that that wasn't enough last time.
31, I don't have anything. I mean, all I have is my family, but I don't have property, I don't have a bank account, I don't have anything. I can't even be a father. It's kind of, I don't know. It's crappy. It's a crappy feeling. I'm just tired of feeling this way.
I played sports in high school, which is probably the only real reason why I even graduated. My senior year, I blew my shoulder out, and they gave me perks. And I just fell in love with the feeling. So I ate them even after my prescriptions were done. I would show up to practice on all high on perks. I played games on perks, and it would just continued on through my senior year. I ended up getting in trouble at the end of my senior year of high school. I graduated. I ended up going to jail for a short time right after. I did oxys like once or twice, and my friend was like, why are you wasting your money on oxys? He's like, that shit's way too expensive. I can get you something cheap. It's the same thing. It was heroin. And after that, it was just off to the races.
I was on Suboxones for treatment of opiates, and that actually helped, treat the opiate addiction.
It was hard to stay with it consistently. I would have to, in all honesty, I would have to have the money for the dose, daily. If sometimes I didn't have it, I'd have to have transportation daily to the clinic, which would be an hour drive. So and I'd have to have gas money and all that. A lot contributed to it, so it was harder to maintain it,
All you have to do is make the conscious decision not to take your pill, and then you can just get high. And I have friends that have sworn up and down about Vivitrol and how good it is and how it takes away the urge. And they all have jobs now. They've been out of trouble forever. So when I got off of it, I just said, yeah, I said, don't even finish the sentence. I'll sign up for it right now.
At first, I didn't want to do the program. Now I'm glad I did the program. I think everybody should do this program and be open-minded to it. If you're closed-minded, you're gonna miss out, and you're gonna wish, wow, I really wish I would have took this serious in the beginning, because I got so much from it. The program's great. I didn't like it in the beginning, but I know it's kind of selfish, but they do give us 10 days a month. I want to get out early. I'm sure everybody else wants to get out early. So that was kind of the reason. And it opens you up to new ways of life and new ways of thinking about life. Hearing people's testimonies, people like me that have a problem. I'm usually sitting in a room with people that don't have a problem like me.
We would sit in groups from 6:30 in the morning till 8:30 at night. I got a lot of one-on-one group counseling with my counselors. I got a lot of I had like individual, well, not really. I had individual counseling with my counselor, and then which was really good. And then I had we'd have group counseling where we'd have like 10 different peers, and we'd sit in and we'd get feedback, and it really it helped. And then I was able to actually work on my behaviors, and in all reality, a lot of it stems from our behaviors. If we just changed our behaviors, we change our way of thinking. So
I've learned a lot about myself since I've been here. They do learning experiences, which is like homework, but they give you this topic to go off of, and it really makes you dig down deep inside yourself. And then we have to read them out in front of the other females that are in our groups and stuff. And most of the time I'll be in tears before I leave, because writing it's one thing, and then reading it and having to relive it is a whole nother thing.
So being around people that have that same problem and have stories like mine, some more severe, some not as severe, it's refreshing. It gives you hope.
Being sober isn't really something that I'm used to. Been using opiates since I was 18, 34 now. Just not used to really doing things, being so clean and sober, and basically I know if I go home without something to help me, I might just one day wake up and say, look, I don't want to do this no more. I just want to be on some type of substance. And I don't want to, but that's the reality that could happen.
yes, well, when I get out, I have a good support system. I plan on getting into NA meetings. I plan on getting me a sponsor, and continuing working with my PO and getting enrolled in outpatient treatment within the first week that I'm out there, so I can just continue my sobriety. And a main key I think for me is the support system with the NA meetings and stuff. As long as you hit the NA meetings and have a sponsor to talk to when you feel the need to use, I think it would help a lot.
Most people are ready to go home. I begged them not to let me go home. I didn't want to go home. I was scared. I knew that once I went home, I was going to be stuck there until I had somebody come get me, and it's always the wrong people that come get you. Even with the medicine, that was my biggest fear, is going home and just being out there again. So I actually got into a sober living facility, and they gave me up to a year to be there. So I stayed there for 9 months, and before I moved out. But yeah, they put me on the prescription when I was there, and it's actually, it was pretty expensive, but my insurance paid for everything, so I was doing it for free. And before I left the facility, I was already down. They took me from 3 strips to 2.
I've been in jail numerous times and never had anyone help me with anything. I always had to have my mother doing it on the street, or just get out and try and hit the pavement running and figure it out. But for some reason, this time when Allie offered the Vivitrol shot, it seemed like it came with a lot of help after. A lot of people actually started to care. It seemed like making phone calls for programs, helping me send referrals. And like I said, Jenny's the one that got me in. Between her and Jim Mitchell, I got into the Hope House within weeks. And I was starting to really stress out about where I was going, nowhere to go. I hit the street running, and I'm gonna end up going crazy again. I don't know how else to say it without swearing, but it's gonna get crazy. Stuff's gonna hit the fan. It's just how I operate, and it's stuff like that I got to learn how to change and work on. And I think that the Vivitrol shot, and like I said, I did Suboxone, and it worked for a little bit, but like I said, eventually after a year of it, I was just I don't even need it. And then it's what do I do now? Counseling ends, everything ends. This though, it gives you that, at least it gives you a month to figure it out. The shot will stop you from getting high. You're not gonna shoot heroin, you're not gonna drink. It'll stop you from doing all that, because what's the point? It's just be a waste of money anyway. You're not going to feel it, or you could overdose, so it's not worth it. And it just gives you that month, and then if you feel good after that month, you do it again. You just keep going. And that's how my friends explain it, and they all swear. Like I said, they've been swearing by it for years now, begging me to do it. I just don't. I take bids instead and hit the street and do it again, and nothing's changed. So I'd never been offered it before, so why not take it? Why not take someone's offering a hand to help you, take it. That's the way I look at it.
For me, it was more like a security blanket. I was afraid to go back out into the world without anything because I had been using for so long. I knew that if I was on it, that in my head, I knew that I couldn't get high even if I tried.
Right, yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I tested it, and it works. I felt no head change whatsoever. I mean, obviously, I only tried like a couple beers on it, but I had no head change whatsoever.
Vivitrol, it was like almost like if a child knows that the stove is hot, he won't touch it. So I had no cravings, no thoughts of using, but once I was off the Vivitrol, the thought returned. I stopped because the funding ran out, and I relapsed 3 months later.
I need to address my problem every week, and if the things I hear about Vivitrol are really good. It takes the craving away, I heard, and why not try it? It might save my life. I mean, this is my 3rd state incarceration. Now, I'm only 31. I mean, I know I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm not that old, I don't think. That's a lot.
My father tells people I live in, oh, he's got his own place now. I was in South Bay. He's like, oh, how's Matt doing? Oh, he's got his own place on the South Shore. I'm like, no, I don't. I have a cell in South Bay. You just don't want to tell people that. That's not cool. My father shouldn't have to lie to tell people where I'm at. He should just be able to he's doing good, he's working, or yeah, he's at home, or whatever. My family shouldn't have to lie about where I'm at. And that's what they've been doing their whole lives. I'm not trying to have them do that no more.
I feel like this is an opportunity to help a lot of people. I mean, my sister was concerned with cost-wise, what it's cost to house me off and on all of my adult life as opposed to paying, $900 a month for the shot.
I tried to do it on my own in '97 when I got out, but it just didn't work. So I just one day I just woke up and said I got to do it. I can't come back. I'm too old. It's my 4th sentence. I gave him 26 years, and I'm done. I still do get cravings, but they're not as frequent, I guess. I'd be lying to you and say, if I didn't, have that feeling that I want to go out and get high or whatever, but, using the tools that I learned in the program and, doing those steps, it helped me. So, it gives me a minute to step back and think about, the consequences and all that.
I got it originally to create like sort of a foundation when I got out, because I think I still had some reservations about getting high, but like you said, just getting the shot isn't going to keep you clean. You know what I mean? You gotta want to, but my cravings went away completely.
Yeah, it do work, and that's what really made me take that shot, because I was like, okay, I've been locked up for 10 months. I know when I go home, I'm probably gonna be around the same environment for a minute, and I might use. So when they was explaining to me what it's for and what it could do, I said, well, I don't want to use, but reality is going to sink in when I walk out these gates. So, yeah, okay, I'll try the shot. So I was agreeable to try it. I started it, I got my first one in February of 2014. And then that's when I got released. And when I came here, I had took maybe 3 or 4 more. And then I just stopped because I felt I didn't need it anymore. And I've been clean for 10 months today.
I think I might need it for a while. I don't think I need to just stop, because I tried that before and it didn't work. So I definitely, I'm not gonna rush it, So if I need to be on it for a long period of time, I'm gonna go ahead and just do it.
So we started with a small grant, got a few of our treatment providers on board, started doing medication-assisted treatment, started hearing success stories, and then ultimately, because of our, the cooperation from the Department of Corrections, and this is not true in most of the rest of the country. Our Department of Corrections was willing to move ahead with this because they were open-minded, certainly not risk-averse, but certainly also very quickly saw the benefits. They're smart, caring people who really care about the people that they serve. And so we started this project probably 2012, where we have offenders who are leaving institutions on medications. And then we are starting to see some real success stories. One thing we know, and this is across treatment and across addiction, is that the highest correlate to success and recovery is length of time in treatment. So people who stay in treatment tend to do better than people who don't. For people who leave institutions on medications, in particular Vivitrol, we're finding that they stay in treatment much longer than people who don't. And so we know, because of the rest of the science behind that, that they will do better in their recovery. We're also seeing good outcomes in terms of employment, stable housing, social connectedness, things like that.